So this is a paper 4 mock set 3. You can use your mic, chat, or screen annotation to answer the questions. 5 organic compounds have the following structures: A, B, C, D, and E is there. The question is, which compound is a butane? But means 4 carbon atoms are there, and ane means they should have a single bond. So A. Two compounds are the structural isomer. Structural isomers mean they should have the same molecular formula but different structures. So B and C have the same molecular formula but different structure. Which compound can be made by reacting alkene with bromine? Why E is wrong? Because the two carbon which are having a double bond, the bromine should be attached to them. So it is two carbon should be attached, two bromine should be attached to a carbon adjacent, not on the opposite ends. So E will not form, D will form by that. Which compound is a saturated? The term saturated means with a bromine, what is the product? You mean that? The product is called 1,2-dibromo, 1,2-dibromoethane in this case. It will be 1,2-dibromo and then alkane will be there. If it is if butene reacted with bromine, so it will be 1,2-dibromobutane. If pentene reacted with bromine, 1,2-dibromopentane. Which compound has an empirical formula of C2H5? So C2H5, first, it cannot be D or E because they are not hydrocarbon. So what is the molecular formula? It is C4 and H, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So C4H10 is there. When I take the simplest ratio of 4 and 10, it will be 2:5. But when I take the empirical formula of this one, C4H8, it will be CH2. When I take the empirical formula of this one, C4H8, it will also be CH2. Then we have name two products made during a complete combustion. Whenever you burn a hydrocarbon, a combustion of a hydrocarbon will always produce a water and carbon dioxide. In exam, look, read the question properly. As I mentioned, name, so you should name them. No need to write formula. So you should mention water and a carbon dioxide. Next is the petroleum can be separated into the useful substances using an apparatus. As you can see, name the fraction which is the most viscous. Viscous means cannot flow easily or thick. So viscosity as we go down the group, I mean down this chamber, the
Lubricating
viscosity
fraction.
increases. It become more viscous. So which fraction we expect? Lubricating fraction or a bitumen, we expect it to be more viscous. Name the fraction with the smallest molecules. So smallest
Refinery gas.
molecule. It should be a refinery gas. Why refinery gas? Because name the fraction which has a weakest attractive forces between the molecules. So weakest attractive force or which is having the lowest boiling point. Weaker. So this will be because as we go down the group, the boiling point increases. So this will have the high boiling point and this will have a low boiling point. So for a low boiling point, we'll have a weaker intermolecular force. That is why it is having a low boiling point. Fraction X is used as a jet fuel, so we say kerosene or paraffin. What happened at point Y on the diagram? So on point Y, the petroleum is heated. So we heated the petroleum at point Y. The next is silver dichromate is a red insoluble salt. Silver dichromate can be made by reacting a silver nitrate solution with So silver dichromate can be made by reacting a solution. So this is the ionic precipitation. What we do in ionic precipitation, we mix the two solutions. So we'll take a silver nitrate and ammonium dichromate, and when we mix them together, it will produce a silver dichromate. Silver dichromate is solid at room temperature. And how we separate this solid? So we filter it, then wash and then dry. Clean the filtrate. How we can clean the filtrate? Clean the filter solid by washing it with a distilled water and then dry. And dry with a tissue paper, you can mention that. The charge on the silver +1. Dry in oven, yes, it can be done as well. So the charge, deduce the charge on the dichromate. So how we can reduce the charge on the dichromate ion? So you have Ag, the formula is Ag2Cr2O7. So this is representing the valency of the dichromate, which is 2 minus, and nothing is written here, like there's no bracket. It means the valency of a silver is +1 or 1 plus. So the charge on the dichromate ion, it is -2 or 2 minus. Write an ionic equation for formation of a silver dichromate in this reaction. State symbols are not required. So whenever you see, whenever you need an ionic equation, what you will do, first thing you identify, just a minute, Ayan. Just a minute, I will explain one idea and then you can annotate it. Whenever you want to write an ionic equation for any insoluble salt, first, or any equation, first you write solid, liquid, or a gas. So when you see this equation, there is no liquid or a gas, only solid is silver dichromate, which is Ag2Cr2O7. Then if this substance is a solid, if one side it is a solid, liquid, or a gas, other side it should be an ion. So what are the ions present? It contain a silver ion and it contain a dichromate ion. And the silver is 2 plus. Silver, silver is +1, but there are two silver, so I should write 2 here. And chromate is 2 minus, but only one ion is there. So that's why this will be ionic equation. Ions are always aqueous.
Sir, you're
So
lagging.
Yes, sir. Your voice is
is it okay now or lagging? So in the question, the dilute sodium hydroxide is added to ammonium nitrate solution made in the reaction. The mixture was then warmed and a universal indicator is added. Whenever we have the ammonium salt, any ammonium salt is there, and we add an alkali, so what it will release? It will always release the ammonia gas. And what is the characteristic of the ammonia gas? Ammonia is an alkaline gas, so universal indicator turned blue because ammonia produced, which is alkaline. So universal indicator, indicate spelling mistake, indicator, universal. So we have a universal indicator because of, and ammonia is alkaline gas. How you know ammonia is alkaline gas? Well, ammonia is released whenever you have an alkali is there, like sodium hydroxide, and you have ammonium salt. So any ammonium salt, ammonium nitrate, ammonium sulfate.
That your voice is lagging.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
The apparatus shown was set up plastic straw. and a silver nitrate is there, AgNO3, and we have ammonium dichromate, which is NH4 in a bracket 2, Cr2O7. After 5 minutes, the red solid appear because when silver nitrate combined with ammonium dichromate, it form a red solid, which is marked as S. Explain why a red solid appear along the line marked S. Like why it is formed more towards ammonium dichromate. So the main reason is that it is related to a diffusion, movement of the particles. Ammonium
Because silver
nitrate,
is
yes,
less heavier. So silver nitrate is less heavier than ammonium dichromate.
yeah. So you can say because it's these are the ions or soluble salt solution. So you can refer the rate of a diffusion, compare the ions, the diffusion of the ions you will mention, like lower molecular mass or molar mass. So diffuse as the higher rate. Experiment was repeated at a higher temperature. What effect it will have on the time? And explain your answer. So red solid will form faster and because at high temperature, greater rate of diffusion. In a short time, and the reason is higher temperature, greater rate of diffusion will be there. Then ammonium dichromate undergoes a thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition, ammonium dichromate is there. So breakdown of a substance by the action of a heat, that is called a thermal decomposition. Then equation, as I mentioned, ammonium dichromate, the products are ammonium 3 oxide, nitrogen and water. So this is ammonium dichromate, NH4 in a bracket 2, Cr2O7. It form chromium 3 oxide. So chromium 3 oxide, chromium will be +3 and oxygen will be -2. So chromium 3 oxide will be Cr2O3 plus nitrogen N2.